Hello everyone, this is Tyler with Diesel Laptops. I'm coming to you today to talk about a new program we have called ALLScan. This is a free tool that you can use with your engines to provide trip and lifetime totals for your customer. So right now we have a ECM on our workbench. It's a Cummins CM2350, which is a 2013 and newer. So if I'm just going to navigate to like Freightliner, Cummins, and you'll normally go into diesel injection or ABS or wherever, but there's this function down here called Trip Data Recorder that you've probably never used. So I'm going to go down here and hit the start button on it and show you how it works. And again, we're going to do this in real live time so you can see fairly how easy or quickly that this whole thing happens. So I'm going to hit confirm to connect to the engine. Now the trip data, this is something that you may get asked for by a fleet manager or a customer to kind of know what's going on with their vehicle. So if I scroll down here, you'll see ISX CM2350, which means it's a 2013 and newer. If I go over to settings, there's this trip data recorder function that I'm going to start here. And trip data recorder, what this essentially does is connect to your ECM and download all the information off of it that has to do with trips or lifetime reports. So we'll just give it a second here, and you'll see down here now there's a countdown timer going by percentage. So it takes it about a minute, but what this is doing is it's downloading everything it possibly would need to know. So as you can see, as I was going there, it was already filling data. So we have the after treatment system here, grabbed a bunch of information. Now I have my two buttons here on the right. I have my left and my front button. And if I click the right button, you'll see it goes to the next section, base, cruise control, and so on and so on. And again, we're just kind of waiting for the ECM information to download. There is quite a bit of information it's trying to pull in and deal with and figure out. And as you can see, there are quite a few categories. So we get all the way through here. Of course, there should be nothing under gas. PTO settings, I don't know if anything will come up there. I think it will. Yeah, so let's just wait there. We'll actually try to skip ahead of it a little bit. And as you can see, as it's pulling down the data here, you'll see that our screen will start to populate with information on the fuel economy as we go. So there it goes, grabbing all kinds of good info. And almost done at 90% and should be done in a second. Now when this first opens and it's done, it's going to ask you to open the trip data recorder. This is the built-in one that you can use with TEXA. It's okay. It just doesn't allow you to actually print or save or do anything with it. Just view it. So we really don't care to do that. We want to do a little bit more. So we'll hit no. And notice down here as well, it also says the file is stored in the Exchange Manager out trip data file. Kind of good to know where that is. You don't really need to know much with our program. The other thing to notice though is confirm to reset or cancel to exit. So if I actually hit confirm here, it'll reset all my trip data back to 0. And as you can see, someone pretty much did that already. We have a lot of zeros in here for things. If I hit cancel, this would basically bring me back to the start. So it says turn key to stop, press confirm. It's our test ECM. We're fine. We're not going to worry about it. But let's go out to the data, out to the dashboard. And we have this one called Trip Data Recorder. So we'll load this. This is the default one to use from Diesel laptops. So what you would do is you hit open file, and it's going to store them here. I just want you to not worry about the name of it, but look at the date and time. Does it make sense? Is this the most recent one? If you do a bunch of these, it'll always be the one on top as long as you're sorting by date modified. So we'll click that. And boom, there it is. We can print out, we can view all this information. You can skip to different categories if you want to see what settings are enabled. It does grab all that stuff too. Obviously, there'll be some zeros in here due to trips because you can do trip 1 through 4. It would be reset them before. But we do have some lifetime totals in here for engine brakes and driver and diesel exhaust fluid and everything else. Fuel economy. So the one thing that we do as a calculation is we do take your total fuel used and do the math with your miles driven and give you a miles per gallon calculation up here. That was the one thing customers were really asking for. They wanted to know that. So once this is done, what can you do with it? You can definitely save it to PDF. You can print it. And up here is where you can put your logo. So I just picked a default one that we have stored in the laptop here for our background, but that's our default logo. I'll hit save to PDF. And we'll save this thing on the desktop, and we'll call this Cummins Test Report. All right, so there we go. It is saving it as a Cummins Test Report. Little trick a lot of people don't know with Windows, there's this little bar down here in the lower right. If I click on that, that brings me out to the desktop, and there's my test report that we just made. I can open it up, and as you can see, there's our company logo, or where your logo should be. And as I go through here, we have a nice, great looking report, 5 pages long, and it's something you can hand out, give to your customer, show them some lifetime trip totals. People always seem to really like to know kind of what's going on here, where they're using their fuel and what gears and downtime and all those kinds of things. So there it is. That is the overview on the Diesel Laptops ALLScan, 100% free, no charge for it. Whether you bought a TEXA from us or anybody else, you're free to download it and use it, and hopefully you can find some good use for it. So thank you very much for watching the video.